So once you do have like a meeting set up or whatever, you have your car picked out and you're gonna go record it. Um, like how do you record it? So like for me, I have no experience in recording cars. Like the most I have is I have like my Zoom H6 and I'm at my street and I just like pointing it at cars that drive by. That's about as
Yeah.
much as I have. And I would assume for most people watching this, that's probably as much as they have. Like I know some people will go and gear up their vehicle and then like put stuff in the motor and then they'll have a boom pole and like stick it out the window. But how do you actually go about recording sounds for the car?
Sure. There's two main approaches, and it very much depends on how you intend to play the sounds back in game. The two main ways of playing car sounds in game are either using a loop model where you have static loops at different RPMs, or you use a granular system where you would record a sweep, so the car accelerating and decelerating. If you're going to go for a loop system, you're more likely to be doing that using a rolling road. So the car won't be moving, but the wheels will be, and the wheels are on rollers. So you can drive at 50, 60, 70 mile an hour, but the car actually isn't moving. And that gives you the ability then to obviously multi-mic around the car using mic stands and using distance to help the sound grow. But you do have to combat the sound of the rollers, which tend to be quite noisy. And also, if you are using turbocharged vehicles, especially, then they tend to heat up quite quickly. So there's an element of fan noise involved as well. So if you go for a granular approach and you're recording what we call a sweep, which would be starting the car off in idle. So it's basically just moving at maybe 800 RPM and then pretty much throttling it all the way up to the red line, which, depending on the vehicle, could be 6,000 RPM. It could be 9,000 RPM. If you're doing that, obviously you can't use mic stands, you can't have microphones that are a couple of meters away, so then you're close miking. So there tends to be a lot of suction mounts and a lot of gaffer tape used, miking around the exhaust pipe, and as you kind of said, inside the engine bay as well. And again, the sort of equipment that you might use depend on the vehicle. So the sort of instruments of choice tend to be a lot of the sound devices machines, but also, if you've got a lack of space, then you might need something smaller. So when I've been recording Formula One cars, up until most recently, I've been using a little Zoom machine, an H6 actually, because it's pretty damn compact. But you also have to think when you're recording those sorts of vehicles, sound quality is probably the least important aspect of the recording. The most important things are that you get a recording in the first place. So you need to get a recorder that is going to be it's going to shrug off vibration. Obviously, there's a lot of vibration in things like Formula One cars. There's also a heck of a lot of heat. So vibration and heat are very, very important to sort out. And then also the sheer volume of these machines, maybe not so much the V6 turbos at the moment, but when you're looking at the V8s, the V10s, the V12s of yesteryear, they scream. So you have to do a lot of attenuation on the microphones before the sound gets to the recorder, because otherwise you will just overload the preamps and you'll just get a distorted mess. So there's lots of things to kind of think about before sound quality when it comes to a lot of these different motor vehicles.